The human expedition team gazed in awe and trepidation at the towering beasts that surrounded them. Lead scientist Dr. Amara Patel gripped her tablet tightly, her knuckles turning white as she scanned the data streaming in from the team's sensors and scanners. "Incredible," she murmured, her eyes wide. "The size, strength, and predatory adaptations of these creatures far exceed anything we've encountered before. How have these species managed to evolve to such an extreme degree?" Her second-in-command, Dr. Liam Sharma, stepped up beside her, face etched with concern. "We're going to need to rethink our entire approach here. I don't think our standard field equipment is going to be enough to safely study these animals up close." Amara nodded grimly. "Agreed. We need to fortify our camp and develop specialized protective gear and tools. These aren't your average jungle predators. They're apex killing machines. One wrong move, and..." She trailed off, the unspoken implication hanging heavily in the air. The rest of the team had taken cover behind their lander, peeking out nervously as the hulking alien creatures prowled the perimeter. Tensions were high, and Amara knew they needed to act quickly to gain the upper hand. "All right, people, listen up," she called out, her voice cutting through the anxious murmurs. "We're going to need to work around the clock to set up a more secure base camp. Liam, I want you to oversee the construction of sturdy perimeter defenses and motion-activated alarms. The rest of you, gear up and start scouting the area for materials we can use. We need to be ready for anything these beasts can throw at us." The team sprang into action, their earlier hesitation replaced by a steely determination. Amara watched them work, her mind racing with possibilities. If they could just survive the initial encounters, she was confident they could eventually gain the upper hand. After all, humans had a history of adapting and overcoming even the most daunting challenges. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the alien landscape, Amara couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just a typical scientific expedition. There was something primal, something deeply instinctual, about the way the humans were responding to the threat posed by these fearsome creatures. It was as if an ancient, primordial part of their DNA had been awakened, a drive to survive and triumph against all odds. She recalled the stories of her ancestors, the tales of their ingenuity, resourcefulness, and sheer tenacity in the face of overwhelming odds. It was those very qualities that had allowed humans to rise to the top of the food chain back on Earth, despite their apparent physical weaknesses. "We are not mere prey," Amara murmured to herself, a steely determination settling in her gut. "We are the apex predators, the masters of our domain. And we will prove it, no matter what challenges this alien world throws at us." As the last of the daylight faded, the team had managed to construct a sturdy fortified camp, complete with high-powered floodlights, motion sensors, and an array of makeshift defensive tools. Amara felt a sense of cautious optimism as she inspected their handiwork. "Excellent work, everyone," she announced, addressing the weary but resolute faces of her crew. "We've taken the first step in asserting our dominance on this planet. Tomorrow, we begin our study of these creatures in earnest. We'll learn their strengths, their weaknesses, and then we'll use that knowledge to our advantage." The team murmured their assent, already looking more confident than they had earlier that day. Amara knew that the real test was yet to come, but she had faith in her crew's ability to adapt and overcome. As she lay in her bunk, Amara's mind raced with thoughts of the days and weeks ahead. The sheer scale and ferocity of the alien predators was unlike anything they had encountered before, but she couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement. This was the challenge they had been training for, the opportunity to push the boundaries of human knowledge and capability. "We are the masters of our domain," she whispered into the darkness, the words a mantra, a rallying cry. "And we will prove it, no matter what." With that, Amara closed her eyes, her body and mind steeling themselves for the battles to come. For in the wilds of this alien world, the ultimate truth would be revealed, the truth about human superiority over all else. As the sun rose over the alien landscape, the human expedition team emerged from their fortified camp, their faces set with determination. Amara and Liam had spent the night finalizing their plan of attack, and now it was time to put it into action. "All right, listen up." Amara addressed the group, her voice carrying a commanding tone. "Today, we're going to start our in-depth study of these alien predators. We need to understand their behavior, their hunting patterns, their weaknesses, everything that can give us an advantage." She gestured to the large, lumbering creatures that were slowly waking and roaming the area just beyond the perimeter. Those beasts may seem unstoppable, but we have something they don't: the power of human ingenuity. Liam stepped forward, holding up a series of schematics on his tablet. "We've designed a set of specialized tools and equipment to help us observe and interact with these creatures safely. First, we have these high-powered tranquilizer darts, capable of bringing down even the largest of the predators." He tapped the screen, and the group watched as a 3D rendering of the dart appeared, its needle-like tip glinting in the morning light. These darts are loaded with a powerful sedative that will allow us to study the creatures up close without risking our own safety. The team murmured in approval, their eyes shining with excitement. Amara nodded, pleased to see their enthusiasm. "Exactly. And that's just the start. We've also rigged up a series of motion-activated cameras and sensors to track the animals' movements and behaviors. Plus, we've designed some specialized protective gear to shield us from their attacks." She gestured to the reinforced suits and helmets that the team was already donning. These suits are made from a lightweight, ultra-durable material that can withstand the crushing force of their jaws and the slashing of their claws. We're not going to be caught off guard again. The team quickly divided into smaller groups, each tasked with a specific objective. Some would be responsible for setting up the tracking equipment, while others would work on documenting the predators' hunting patterns and social behaviors. Amara and Liam would lead the more dangerous mission, venturing out into the field to observe the creatures up close, armed with their tranquilizer darts. As they stepped out beyond the perimeter, Amara felt a surge of adrenaline coursing through her veins. The massive, hulking beasts turned their attention towards the humans, their eyes gleaming with a primal hunger. But Amara refused to be intimidated. She raised her tranquilizer rifle, her finger steady on the trigger, ready to fire at the first sign of aggression. To her surprise, the creatures seemed to hesitate, their advance slowing as they studied the strange, bipedal intruders. Amara couldn't help but feel a sense of triumph. "They recognize us as a threat," she murmured to Liam, a grin spreading across her face. "Good. That's the first step." Liam nodded, his own expression mirroring Amara's. "And now we show them why they should fear us." With that, the two scientists began to slowly approach the predators, their movements calm and deliberate. They observed the creatures' behavior, noting their hunting strategies, their pack dynamics, and their vulnerabilities. Whenever one of the beasts drew too close, Amara would fire a tranquilizer dart, sending the creature tumbling to the ground in a drought haze. The rest of the team, safely ensconced behind the perimeter, watched in awe as their leaders danced with the alien predators, their skill and bravery on full display. They had gone from being the hunted to becoming the hunters, and the shift in power was palpable. As the day wore on, the human expedition team gathered an unprecedented amount of data, their understanding of the alien creatures growing by leaps and bounds. Amara and Liam returned to the camp, their faces flushed with triumph. "We did it," Amara announced, her voice ringing with pride. "We've proven that we are the masters of this domain. These beasts may possess incredible physical attributes, but they are no match for the ingenuity and adaptability of the human mind." The team erupted in cheers, their spirits soaring. Amara raised her hand, silencing the raucous celebration. "But this is only the beginning. We've shown these creatures that we are not to be trifled with, and now we must cement our dominance. Tomorrow we will venture out again, this time equipped with even more advanced tools and weapons. We will not just study these beasts, we will conquer them." The team nodded in agreement, their eyes burning with a newfound determination. They had faced the unknown and emerged victorious, and now they were ready to take the next step in asserting their superiority over the alien world. As the sun set, casting the camp in a warm golden glow, Amara couldn't help but feel a sense of exhilaration. The truth about human superiority was becoming clearer with each passing day, and she couldn't wait to see what other wonders and challenges this alien planet had in store. Back on the human homeworld, the news of the expedition team's remarkable accomplishments spread like wildfire. Amidst the scientific community, there was a mix of astonishment, admiration, and no small amount of skepticism. Professor Emilia Gonzalez, a renowned xenobiologist, sat at her desk, poring over the latest reports from the alien planet. Her brow was furrowed, her fingers drumming thoughtfully against the surface of her computer. "Impossible," she muttered, shaking her head. "These creatures are unlike anything we've ever encountered. Their sheer size and ferocity should have overwhelmed the expedition team in a matter of days." She leaned back in her chair, her eyes narrowing. There's no way a handful of human scientists, armed with little more than glorified tranquilizer guns, could possibly hope to subdue and study such apex predators. Gonzalez wasn't alone in her skepticism. Throughout the academic community, whispers of doubt and dismissal began to circulate. The fragile-looking bipeds, so seemingly ill-equipped to survive in the harsh alien wilderness, were making a mockery of centuries-old assumptions about the natural order of things. "They're simply lucky," scoffed Dr. Takeshi Nakamura, a prominent xenozoologist. "A few chance encounters where the beasts didn't immediately maul them to death. It's only a matter of time before they're overrun and wiped out." But as the days turned into weeks and the expedition team's reports continued to pour in, the naysayers found their voices growing increasingly hollow. The humans were not only surviving, but they were thriving, demonstrating an uncanny ability to adapt and overcome the challenges presented by the alien world. Amara and her team had crafted increasingly sophisticated tools and weapons, leveraging their keen intellect and problem-solving skills to gain the upper hand. They had mastered the art of tracking the predators, anticipating their movements, and neutralizing them with precision and efficiency. Even more remarkable, the humans had begun to forge a level of understanding with the alien creatures that defied all expectations. Through careful observation and experimentation, they had discovered that the beasts, for all their raw power, were surprisingly intelligent and responsive to subtle cues and environmental stimuli. "It's as if they're learning from us," Liam marveled, his eyes alight with wonder. "They're recognizing us as a formidable threat, but also as a potential source of understanding and even cooperation." Amara nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of her lips. "Exactly. We're not just subduing these creatures, we're establishing a rapport, a dialogue, if you will. And that's the key to unlocking their true secrets." Back on the homeworld, the The skeptics found themselves faced with a growing mountain of evidence that challenged their preconceived notions. The expedition team's findings were not only groundbreaking, but they were also deeply unsettling to those who had long believed in the natural supremacy of other more impressive species. Professor Gonzalez, once so dismissive of the humans' chances, now found herself utterly captivated by their exploits. She pored over the data, her mind racing with new hypotheses and theories. It's not just their tools and technology, she mused, her fingers tapping furiously at her keyboard. There's something else at play here, something about the way the human mind operates, the way they perceive and interact with their environment. She paused, her eyes widening with a dawning realization. It's their adaptability, their capacity for abstract reasoning and problem-solving. These aren't just fragile apes, they're the true masters of their domain, in a way we've never seen before. Gonzalez's colleagues, once so quick to dismiss the humans, now found themselves reconsidering their positions. The evidence was simply too overwhelming to ignore. These bipedal creatures, armed with little more than their wits and their determination, had somehow managed to not just survive, but to thrive in the most hostile of alien environments. As the reports from the expedition continued to flow in, the scientific community back home found itself grappling with a profound truth. The humans were not merely lucky or skilled, they were fundamentally superior to the other species they had encountered. It was a revelation that shook the very foundations of their understanding of the natural world, forcing them to confront the possibility that the fragile-looking humans were, in fact, the true apex predators of the cosmos. And as the expedition team pressed on, delving ever deeper into the alien world and its mysteries, the scientists back home found themselves swept up in a growing sense of awe and wonder. For if the humans could accomplish such feats on this distant planet, what other wonders might they uncover in the vast, uncharted reaches of the universe? As the weeks turned into months, the human expedition team's understanding of the alien predators grew exponentially. Amara and her crew had meticulously documented the creatures' behaviors, social structures, and hunting patterns, piecing together a comprehensive understanding of their capabilities and vulnerabilities. But what truly set the humans apart was their ability to not just observe, but to actively shape the behavior of the fearsome beasts. Through a series of carefully orchestrated interactions, they had managed to establish a rapport with the predators, gaining their trust and even, in some cases, their cooperation. It's incredible, Liam marveled, his eyes shining with excitement as he pored over the latest data. These animals are so much more intelligent and responsive than we ever imagined. They're not just mindless, instinctual killers. They're complex, dynamic creatures with their own unique forms of communication and social organization. Amara nodded in agreement, a proud smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. And that's precisely what's given us the edge. We're not just observing them. We're learning to speak their language, to understand their motivations and needs. And in doing so, we've been able to turn them into our allies, rather than our adversaries. The team's ability to forge these unexpected bonds with the alien predators had not gone unnoticed back on their home world. As the expedition's findings continued to filter back, the scientific community found themselves grappling with a profound realization. The humans' apparent weaknesses were, in fact, their greatest strengths. Professor Gonzalez, once a staunch skeptic, now found herself captivated by the expedition's achievements. It's not just their tools and technology, she mused, her fingers drumming thoughtfully against the surface of her desk. It's their capacity for abstract reasoning, their ability to see the world from a different perspective. They're not just reacting to their environment, they're shaping it, adapting it to suit their needs. She leaned back in her chair, her brow furrowed in contemplation. And that's where they surpass even the most fearsome of these alien predators. These beasts may possess incredible physical attributes, but they're ultimately limited by their instincts and their environment. The humans, on the other hand, have the ability to transcend those limitations, to see the world in ways that these creatures can't even begin to comprehend. Liam's latest report only served to reinforce this notion. In it, he described a series of experiments where the team had used their newfound rapport with the predators to redirect their hunting patterns, guiding them away from the expedition's camp and towards more isolated, less threatening prey. It's as if we're the ones in control now. Liam wrote, his words practically brimming with excitement. These creatures, who once posed such a dire threat to our very existence, now look to us for guidance and direction. They've come to understand that we are the true masters of this domain, and they are willing to defer to our superior knowledge and reasoning. Amara, reading the report, couldn't help but feel a surge of pride and triumph. "We've done it," she murmured, her eyes shining with a steely determination. "We've proven, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that the humans are the apex predators of this alien world. And now the rest of the scientific community back home is going to have to acknowledge that truth." As the news of the expedition's latest achievements spread, the skeptics and naysayers found themselves increasingly marginalized. The data was simply too overwhelming, the evidence too compelling, to continue denying the humans' superiority. Professor Gonzalez, once a vocal critic, now found herself at the forefront of a growing movement to re-evaluate the very nature of intelligence and adaptability in the universe. Her colleagues, once dismissive of the humans' chances, now found themselves scrambling to understand the profound implications of the expedition's findings. "We've been looking at this all wrong," Gonzalez declared, her voice ringing with conviction. "We've been so focused on the physical attributes of these alien species, on their size and strength and ferocity, that we've overlooked the true source of their power, their cognitive capabilities, their ability to reason, to innovate, to shape their environment to their will." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the assembled scientists, daring them to challenge her. And in that regard, the humans have proven themselves to be the true masters of their domain. They may not possess the same raw physical attributes as these predators, but they more than make up for it with their superior intellect, their boundless creativity, and their unwavering determination. The room fell silent, the weight of her words hanging heavy in the air. For the first time, the scientific community back home was forced to confront the profound truth. The humans were not just survivors, but the true apex predators of the cosmos. As the human expedition's exploits continued to capture the imagination of the scientific community back home, the native alien species on the distant planet found themselves in a state of growing bewilderment and awe. For generations, the fearsome predators had reigned supreme, their dominance over the land and its resources unquestioned. The very thought of any other creature, let alone a fragile-looking biped, challenging their supremacy was simply inconceivable. Yet, as the reports from the human camp filtered through the planet's interconnected communication networks, the alien species found themselves confronted with an undeniable truth. These strange, bipedal creatures were not only surviving, but they were actively thriving in the face of the most formidable of challenges. "How is this possible?" rumbled Tarax, a hulking, heavily armored predator whose species had long been considered the apex hunters of the region. "These humans are weak, unarmed, and yet they have managed to subdue and even befriend our kind. It is an affront to the natural order." Nearby, a smaller, more agile predator named Scylla tilted her head, her eyes narrowing as she processed the information. "Perhaps we have been too quick to dismiss them. These humans seem to possess a level of intelligence and adaptability that we have never encountered before. They do not rely on brute strength or savage instinct, but on something far more powerful, the ability to innovate, to problem solve, to shape their environment to their will. Xerax let out a rumbling growl, his massive claws flexing in agitation. And that is precisely why they must be eliminated. They are an aberration, a threat to the natural order that we have upheld for millennia. We cannot allow them to continue their interference in our domain. Scylla raised a clawed hand, her expression thoughtful. But what if we have misjudged them? What if, instead of viewing them as a threat, we could learn from them, understand the source of their power? Perhaps there is a way for us to coexist, even to forge an alliance of sorts. The larger predator snorted derisively, his eyes narrowing to slits. Coexist? Alliance? You speak as if these humans are our equals. They are nothing more than weak, insignificant creatures, unworthy of our attention. We will crush them and restore the natural order that has served us so well. Scylla hesitated, her gaze flicking between Xerax and the faint flickering of light that betrayed the presence of the human camp in the distance. Perhaps. But what if you are wrong? What if these humans possess the key to unlocking something greater, something that could benefit us all? Xerax let out a thunderous roar, the sand reverberating through the dense foliage. Enough of this foolish speculation. The decision has been made. We will mobilize our pack and descend upon the human camp, eliminating this threat once and for all. With that, the massive predator turned and stalked away, his massive frame disappearing into the shadows of the alien forest. Scylla watched him go, her own thoughts a whirlwind of uncertainty and trepidation. Perhaps there is another way, she murmured, her voice barely audible above the cacophony of the surrounding wildlife. A way that does not involve bloodshed and destruction. Back in the human camp, Amara and her team were blissfully unaware of the impending danger. They were too engrossed in their work, their minds filled with the wonder and excitement of their newfound discoveries. "Can you believe it, Liam?" Amara exclaimed, her eyes shining with pride. "We've managed to not just survive, but to thrive in this alien world. And not only that, but we've forged a level of understanding with these predators that defies all expectations." Liam nodded, a broad grin spreading across his face. "It's incredible, Amara. We've proven that the humans are the true masters of this domain, not through brute force, but through our superior intellect and adaptability. These creatures may possess impressive physical attributes, but they are no match for the ingenuity of the human mind." Amara placed a hand on his shoulder, her expression growing more serious. "And that's why we can't let our guard down. We may have gained the upper hand, but these predators are still a formidable force. We need to remain vigilant, ready to adapt and respond to any new challenges that may come our way." Little did they know, those challenges were already on their way, driven by the primal fear and resentment of an alien species unwilling to relinquish its long-held dominance. The news of the human expedition's remarkable exploits quickly spread beyond the scientific community, captivating the imagination of the general public back on their home planet. Suddenly, the fragile-looking bipeds were the stuff of legend, their feats of ingenuity and resilience the talk of every household. "Can you believe it?" exclaimed Amelia, a young student studying xenobiology. "Those humans managed to not just survive, but to befriend the most fearsome predators on that alien world. It's incredible." Her friend, Luca, nodded enthusiastically, his eyes shining with admiration. "I know. And to think, we once thought of them as these weak, helpless creatures. Turns out, they're the true masters of their domain, using their brains to overcome even the most daunting challenges. The two friends continued to gush about the expedition's accomplishments, their conversation punctuated by exclamations of awe and wonder. It was a sentiment echoed across the planet, as people from all walks of life marveled at the feats of their fellow humans. "They've proven that we're not just survivors, but conquerors," declared Amelia, her voice brimming with pride. "We may not have the raw physical strength of those alien predators, but we more than make up for it with our ingenuity and adaptability." Luca nodded in agreement, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. "You know, it really makes you wonder about the true potential of the human mind. If these scientists can accomplish such incredible things on a distant, alien world, just imagine what we could do here on our own planet, or even out among the stars." The two friends fell silent for a moment, their imaginations running wild with the possibilities. Amelia's expression suddenly shifted, her brow furrowing with concern. "But what if the rest of the scientific community doesn't believe them?" she asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. "I mean, there were a lot of skeptics who doubted the expedition's chances of success. What if they try to dismiss or discredit their findings?" Luca's shoulders tensed, a frown creasing his features. "I hadn't thought of that. You're right, there are always going to be those who are resistant to change, who refuse to accept the truth even when it's staring them in the face." He paused, his expression hardening with resolve. "But this time, I don't think they'll be able to ignore it. The evidence is just too overwhelming, the accomplishments of the human expedition too remarkable to simply dismiss. They're going to have to acknowledge the truth, whether they like it or not." Amelia nodded, her own determination rising to the surface. "Exactly. And when they do, it's going to change everything. The way we view intelligence, the way we approach problem-solving and exploration, it's all going to be turned on its head." The two friends fell silent once more, each lost in their own thoughts. Amelia's gaze drifted to the window, where the night sky twinkled with the promise of countless worlds waiting to be discovered. "Just imagine what the humans could do out there among the stars," she murmured, her voice tinged with awe. "If they can conquer the challenges of this alien world, who knows what other wonders they might uncover?" Luca nodded, a smile spreading across his face. "You're right, this is just the beginning. The humans have proven their superiority, and now they're going to take that knowledge and use it to change the course of history, both here and beyond." Back on the alien world, the human expedition team remained blissfully unaware of the growing tension in the surrounding wilderness. They were too engrossed in their work, their minds filled with the excitement of their latest discoveries. Amara stood at the edge of the camp, her gaze sweeping over the lush, verdant landscape. A sense of pride and accomplishment swelled within her chest, fueled by the knowledge that her team had achieved the impossible. "We've done it, Liam," she said, turning to her second-in-command with a triumphant grin. "We've proven that the humans are the true masters of this domain. And now, the rest of the world is going to have to recognize that fact." Liam nodded, his own expression mirroring Amara's. "It's incredible, isn't it? We've taken on the most formidable of challenges and emerged victorious. These alien predators may have seemed unbeatable, but in the end, our superior intellect and adaptability won out." Amara placed a hand on his shoulder, her eyes shining with determination. "And we're just getting started. Once the rest of the scientific community acknowledges our findings, the possibilities will be endless. We'll be able to expand our reach, to uncover even more secrets of this alien world, and ultimately, to shape the course of human exploration and discovery for generations to come." Little did they know, their moment of triumph was about to be tested by a new and unexpected challenge, one that would put their hard-earned superiority to the ultimate test. Back on the human homeworld, The news of the expedition team's remarkable accomplishments had sparked a renewed sense of pride and purpose among the general population. For too long, they had been seen as weak, fragile creatures, lacking the raw physical power of the animal kingdom. But now, their peers had proven that the true strength of humanity lay not in brute force, but in the sheer ingenuity and adaptability of the human mind. Amelia and Luca, the young students who had been so captivated by the expedition's exploits, found themselves at the center of a growing movement to celebrate and elevate the achievements of their fellow humans. "This is our moment," Amelia declared, her eyes shining with excitement. "We've always known that we were capable of extraordinary things, but now we have the proof to back it up. The rest of the universe is going to have to recognize the true power of the human spirit." Luca nodded in agreement, his expression mirroring Amelia's enthusiasm. "Absolutely. And think of the possibilities, Amelia. If these scientists can accomplish such incredible feats on a distant alien world, just imagine what we could do out there among the stars." The two friends had become the de facto spokespeople for a growing contingent of human supporters. Their infectious energy and unwavering belief in their species' potential inspiring others to join their cause. "We're not just survivors," Amelia proclaimed, her voice ringing with conviction. "We're conquerors, explorers, innovators, the true masters of our domain. And now the rest of the universe is going to have to sit up and take notice." Their words quickly spread, igniting a spark of pride and determination within the hearts of their fellow citizens. Across the planet, people began to rally behind the banner of human superiority, their once humble self-image replaced by a newfound confidence and sense of purpose. "They're right, you know," mused Professor Gonzalez as she pored over the latest reports from the alien expedition. "These humans have proven that they are not just capable of surviving in the harshest of environments, but of thriving and even dominating their surroundings. It's a testament to the power of the human mind and a wake-up call to the entire scientific community." She leaned back in her chair, a contemplative expression crossing her features. "And to think, there were those of us who once doubted their abilities. We were so blinded by our preconceptions, our assumptions about the natural order of things, that we failed to see the true potential of these remarkable creatures." Gonzalez shook her head, a rueful smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. "Well, no more. From this day forward, the humans will be recognized for what they truly are, the apex predators of the cosmos, destined to shape the course of exploration and discovery for generations to come." As the news of the expedition's achievements continued to spread, the sentiment of human superiority took on a life of its own. People began to see their species in a new light, no longer as the fragile, insignificant creatures they had once been portrayed as, but as the rightful masters of the universe. "We're going to change the world," Amelia declared, her voice brimming with conviction. "No, not just the world, the entire cosmos. The humans are going to take their rightful place as the dominant force in the galaxy, and nothing is going to stop us." Luca nodded, his expression equally resolute. "Exactly. And it all starts with the incredible achievements of this expedition team. They've shown us what we're capable of, and now it's up to us to build on that legacy, to push the boundaries of human exploration and discovery even further." The two friends shared a determined look, their eyes shining with the promise of a future where humanity would reign supreme. They knew that the road ahead would not be an easy one, that there would be challenges and setbacks along the way. But they also knew, with unwavering certainty, that the humans were destined for greatness, a destiny that would shape the very course of the cosmos. As the sun set on the human home world, Amelia and Luca stood side by side, their gazes fixed on the twinkling stars above. In that moment, They knew that the true age of human superiority had begun, and that nothing, not even the most formidable of alien predators, would stand in their way. As the human expedition team prepared to depart the alien world, a profound sense of accomplishment and wonder filled their hearts. They had undertaken a journey that had tested the very limits of their capabilities, and in the process had uncovered a profound truth about the nature of human potential. Amara stood at the edge of the camp, her gaze sweeping across the lush, verdant landscape that had once seemed so foreign and hostile. Now it felt like a second home, a testament to the resilience and adaptability of her crew. "Can you believe it, Liam?" she murmured, her voice tinged with awe. "We came to this alien world, faced challenges that would have broken most species, and yet we not only survived, but we thrived. We've proven that the humans are the true masters of this domain, and that our potential knows no bounds." Liam nodded in agreement, a proud smile spreading across his face. "It's been an incredible journey, Amara. We've learned so much, not just about these alien creatures, but about ourselves, about the true power of the human mind and spirit." Amara placed a hand on his shoulder, her expression growing more serious. "And that's why this is just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface of what's possible, both here on this planet and out there among the stars. The rest of the scientific community is going to have to acknowledge the truth of our findings, and once they do, the floodgates will open." Liam's eyes gleamed with excitement. "Exactly. Think of the possibilities, Amara. Once our discoveries are validated, we'll be able to expand our reach, to uncover even more secrets of the universe. The humans will be recognized as the true masters of exploration and discovery, and nothing will be able to stop us." Amara nodded, her expression mirroring Liam's enthusiasm. "That's right. We're not just survivors, Liam, we're conquerors. We've proven that the apparent weaknesses of the human species are, in fact, our greatest strengths. Our lack of natural weapons and defenses has forced us to develop our cognitive faculties to unprecedented levels, and that's what's given us the edge over even the most formidable of alien predators." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the faces of the rest of the expedition team, who had gathered to bid farewell to the alien world they had come to know and understand. "And that's what's going to shape the future of humanity, both here and beyond," Amara continued, her voice ringing with conviction. "We're not just explorers, but pioneers, the trailblazers who will lead our species to new heights of achievement and discovery." The team erupted into cheers and applause, their spirits soaring with a renewed sense of purpose and pride. They knew that the road ahead would not be an easy one, that there would be challenges and setbacks along the way. But they also knew, with unwavering certainty, that the humans were destined for greatness. As the expedition team boarded the lander, ready to embark on the long journey back home, Amara couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the journey they had undertaken. "We did it," she murmured to herself, a smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. "We've proven that the humans are the true masters of our domain, and now the rest of the universe is going to have to sit up and take notice." With that, the lander's engines roared to life, and the human expedition team departed the alien world, their minds already racing with the possibilities that lay ahead. Back on the human homeworld, the news of the team's remarkable accomplishments continued to captivate the imaginations of the general public. Amelia and Luca, the young students who had been so inspired by the expedition's exploits, found themselves at the center of a growing movement to celebrate and elevate the achievements of their fellow humans. "This is just the beginning," Amelia declared, her voice brimming with excitement. "The humans have proven that we are the true masters of our domain, And now we're going to take that knowledge and use it to shape the course of exploration and discovery for generations to come." Luca nodded in agreement, his expression mirroring Amelia's enthusiasm. "Exactly. We're not just survivors, Amelia. We're conquerors, innovators, the true pioneers of the cosmos. And the rest of the universe is going to have to recognize that fact, whether they like it or not." As the sun began to set over the human home world, Amelia and Luca stood side by side, their gazes fixed on the twinkling stars above. In that moment, they knew that the true age of human superiority had begun, and that nothing, not even the most formidable of alien predators, would stand in their way. For the humans had proven, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that they were the rightful masters of their domain, and they were ready to take that message to the furthest reaches of the universe.